All right. Well, here we are with our third stream and rolling along here. So let's give you some updates. The Middle Tennessee Electric website is not working currently. But I can show you the power outage map. Pull up Tennessee. And this is showing 958 without power in Rutherford County. Nearby Williamson, 15,000 plus. Wilson County, 3,400 or so. So that's something that we'll keep a close eye on. Also saw a message from Mayor McFarland just a second ago for Murfreesboro. Well, this is from the Murfreesboro Street Department. An update. Things have deteriorated around town. This was an hour ago. Power line down at Broad Street near Hardee's. In the last hour, they've taken calls and currently 8 trees down in roadways across the city. They've called in additional resources to help. Murfreesboro Parks and Rec, Murfreesboro Water and Sewer, Murfreesboro Fleet Services, Murfreesboro Fire Department. We're helping with equipment, extra chainsaws, and manpower. We will only, right now, get them out of the street. We'll come back after the storm and clean up. From the Murfreesboro Police Department, driving conditions are not the best. Several city streets are covered with ice and some are blocked with downed trees and power lines. Stay home. Can't seem to find that message from Mayor McFarland, but he talked about the power outages in other parts of the city. Well, let me look at it this way. There's the update. This was from a couple of hours ago. Main roads are passable, secondary roads not good. The snow now has a sheet of ice, and it's if you go outside, it's extremely slick. Can't read this morning. Road crews are still maintaining main roads, turn lanes, and emergency service lanes. There are some downed trees and sagging power lines. MPD and Rutherford County EMS were dispatched to a commercial structure fire at International Paper on Northwest Broad, and as of 2 hours ago, said that this event was ongoing. As of this morning, 0600, 65 outages reported by MTE in Smyrna, Murfreesboro, and Eagleville. We know that number is higher at this point. At that point, NES reporting 3 cases of outages in Laverne. The NES map did show a few more than that. NES actually has this on their site now. We are aware of widespread system outages and issues by submitting outages. So I'm not sure how accurate this even is. But in here, well, can't get my pen to work. There are definitely more outages reported in Laverne, is the point. Did see this graphic from the National Weather Service that I wanted to show you and pass along. Increasing winds between now and Monday. Going to make the tree and power line problem a little worse. 15 to 20 mile per hour winds could be possible, sometimes even 20 to 25 mile per hour winds. And those winds are going to come in this afternoon when we get that cold air push. Current radar shows 34 degrees at Murfreesboro Airport, 32 at Smyrna Airport. Brent in the Christiana area, 33 degrees with northwest winds now. And if we put the radar into motion here, one thing that we can see, and I don't know why this tool worked yesterday. Not right now. Hold on a second. You don't need to see that. Let me reopen that. Okay, good. This is what I want to do, and I want to right there around that I-40, right? Bad mark. Hold on a second. Right there. That mark is important. So this was the radar loop for the past maybe hour. See the distance here between where I made the mark and what's current? That's showing the freezing line moving to the east. Or, yeah, because that's our strip of freezing rain. There's some sleet mixed in. Let's hope it's sleet, right? But it looks like everything's moving to the south and east again here. Gotta check. So again, that's from 9:08 to 10:03, so almost an hour loop. So we're seeing that cold air fight back. Look at the composite. we can kind of see the same thing, right? So there's a bigger jump, obviously. See what the latest models are showing. That one is not finished yet, but maybe it will show us enough. Okay. Goes until 5 o'clock. So here's 10 o'clock. Here's 11 o'clock. So it's showing portions of Laverne maybe back into the freezing rain. So they're already at 32. If we take that Smyrna Airport reading at its core here, there's noon. So the northwestern half of Rutherford County back in the freezing rain. 1 o'clock, we're all back in the freezing rain, and still quite a bit of it to go. It's 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and 5 o'clock. You know how we were thinking we might get a little bit of snow on the backside? This model is saying, no, you won't. It's going to stay all freezing rain. Don't know if it's got a good handle on it, because our temperatures are really going to fall. Several of the live cams are down. But the old standby here at the Hacienda is still operating. So an icy mess with rain falling. You can actually see that tree has lost some of its branches. All right, well, let me put this back on the radar here. Sometimes it's just kind of hard to see. Rutherford County here. I'm going to help us out with that. I need to do some things behind the scenes. I've got some photos that I can share with you here in just a second. I have a dog to, yeah. So let me gather some stuff and some information. We'll keep the updates going here on Rutherford Weather. Okay. Still working on getting some new info, but I do have a little bit for you. Let's see. There's going to be a media briefing this afternoon with Tennessee Emergency Management. 2 o'clock. This is not really a lot of fun, is it? These ice storms. Snow is one thing. Ice is another. Okay. To pull up some things from my email. Still working on trying to get the power outage map to show. We are up to 1,000 without power in Rutherford County now. Was just on the phone with someone who has been out, the radio station engineer, Matt Aaron. He was working to get things back on the air for us. Sent in a few pictures. Took one from outside as well, but let me get these downloaded here and I'll show you. Fingers crossed. And keep internet and everything going here. Brent, who is keeping us updated on what is going on down in Christiana, as his weather station has gone to 32.9 degrees with the northwest wind. The temperatures are coming down. All right, here is downtown Murfreesboro. We're northwest broad, southeast broad. Of course, you can see the rain falling, the tops of the trees. Tops of the trees, of course, icy, and see the ice on the power lines and all of that. Here's another photo from down on the, it's not the Greenway. Well, it is the Greenway Trail. But it also is where our radio station tower is, but trees are coated. Travel, Kelsey, to from Gallatin to Nashville. I don't know what the roads are like there. I did hear from the Murfreesboro mayor a couple of hours ago, talked about the roads in Murfreesboro, the main roads passable, the side roads, any side roads were not good. This is out the front door. And here you can see the power lines, the trees weighted down. But to go back to Kelsey's question, I'm not 100% sure about Gallatin to Nashville and how that is going to look. I mean, I don't think travel's going to be very good this afternoon. I showed the futurecast just a second ago. Let me pull it up here again. Maybe it goes a little further out. I mean, this is showing by 11 o'clock, we're starting to get below freezing. We've already gotten a report from Christiana. It's 32.9. So we're almost right there. It's 32 according to last reading at the Smyrna airport. So this stuff is going to start freezing again. And see how heavy the rain continues here? This is 1 o'clock. And those, whoops, it went too far forward there on me. See how dark those colors are? And just darker in places? I mean, this is like convective rain. Very heavy downpours. So these yellows, these deeper yellows and the darker greens here to the, in the Cookeville area plateau, that's really what's over us. But the radar here is in precipitation mode and it's showing freezing rain. And one thing that we were thinking was the freezing rain would change over to sleet and then to snow. But it looks like that's not going to be the case. Because here's 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. It's not completely out of here until 7 o'clock tonight, which is when we thought that it would turn off, if you will. And there's no snow, no sleet on the backside. Showed you the photos. What else do I have here to show you? This was kind of funny of the dogs trying to navigate the ice with how slippery it was. They were not happy to be out last night. This one is kind of funny. That's like anybody trying to walk on the ice, right? It's rough out there. Okay. Got some new information in from, this is from Middle Tennessee Electric. Due to the ongoing ice storm conditions across the service area, they're closely monitoring the systems, responding to outages as they occur. If outages occur, members are encouraged to visit the outage map. This was from a little bit ago, but I think so many have been going to the outage map that is not currently working. Going to provide updates through the official social media channels. So let's find one of those and see if we can find an update here real quick. If you've got any questions, we'll be glad to try to answer them. I don't know if we can. Oh, this is good. $10 a.m. update. Currently around 14,000 members without power. We ask that you be patient as crews work in difficult conditions to repair significant damage and restore power to all of its members. This could result in longer than usual restoration times. We're experiencing issues with the outage map and automated phone line due to high volume. The MyMTE app is back up and running if you need to report an outage. Or you can call 877-777-9020 to speak with someone. And then please stay at least 30 feet away from downed lines and stay off the roads if possible. If you encounter downed lines, Call that same number, 877-777-9020. And these are the conditions that MTE power crews are working in. See if I can get that a little closer. Nope. Let me draw on it either. So, but right here is a lineman. All right, so we will keep an eye on their social channels. Looks like they're doing hourly updates there. It looks like the outage map is back up, so let's see if we can go to it here. It is loading. Okay, good. So from the looks of this, Smyrna Laverne area, or really Smyrna, North Murfreesboro. Some outages reported in the downtown area. The brunt of what's here in the county. Rocky Fork, Amicable Road, Morton Lane, Baker Road, Lee Victory. There's Enon Springs, North Lowry, Sam Ridley reported outages. Down in Murfreesboro, looks like around West Northfield Boulevard, Clark Boulevard. That's Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. Some outages reported off of South Rutherford Boulevard. South of town, there's Joby Jackson, Barfield Veterans Parkway, some of those areas. But Reedyville, Bradyville, Auburntown, Milton, just a very few outages there. And that's going to be on up into the Wilson County area there. $660 outages affecting 10,000 MTE customers. Now that's Williamson, Rutherford, Cannon, but no reported outages in Cannon and Wilson counties. So that's the outage map. I hope you were able to see that. I think I need to do a little adjusting here of everything. Okay. Let me get you back over to radar here, and we'll keep things scanning. I'm going to keep looking for additional information. National Weather Service is not going to hold a briefing today. They are going to update information this afternoon, though, and send it out, and they're going to hammer on the extreme cold that is coming. We'll have to talk about that as well. There is extreme cold on the way. This is from this morning. Let me go through this real quick with you on the stream. Freezing rain continuing this morning. Dangerous travel worsening area wide. Power outages. There's the winter storm warning. Cold temperatures. This is kind of a timeline. A mix. Gradually transitioning back to snow and sleet. Although Futurecast did not show that, did it? This is showing an additional less than an inch of snow is possible. Additional accumulations of ice. This is troubling. Showing in the far northwestern corner, Smyrna, Laverne, even down maybe toward Amelville, another 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch of ice. Additional. This is additional. In the lighter red here, which gets down into Murfreesboro and probably close to Rockville and Eagleville, that's showing an additional 1/4 to 1/2 an inch. And then this particular orange color, 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch. So it looks like we can expect another 1/4 of an inch of at least, and more than that for the northern half of the county. That is bad news. It's talking about the cold. Okay, so I think we're up to date on that. All right, hang tight. I have some messages to take care of and look at, and we're going to continue to answer your questions. And you're quite welcome for those saying thanks for the weather information. We're going to keep you updated right here on Rutherford Weather. Okay, I'm going to get things ready to do an update. Give some additional information, what we know, that kind of thing. Going to do this on the radio too, so if you know some folks without power, that's a good way maybe they could get information. Brett asked about refreezing. Yeah, I mean, we're going to be 11 degrees tonight. So all those puddles that you have in the yard, instant freeze tonight. It is not going to be good. Been working on getting, the temperature reading. I'm not sure when it will update in the lower right-hand side along with the clock, but Murfreesboro Airport is down to 32, as well as the Smyrna Airport on the radar here. So that's important. So this freezing line may be a little further east than we realize. All right, more updates. And this is the low pressure right here, by the way. Going to continue to scoot off to the east. Good point there, Brent. We're seeing some sleet in that last little update there. North end of the county. All right, hang tight. Good morning, everybody. We have got an update here for you on WGNS radio as well from Rutherford Weather, continuing to watch this horrible ice storm continue. You're seeing probably across most parts of Rutherford County plain rain right now. But what we are seeing at this point is that freezing rain and sleet will kind of be pushing back into the area. In fact, on the last radar that we saw come through, last radar image, it's showing maybe a mix again beginning. Now, whether that is true, whether it's going to the ground, hitting the ground, or whatnot, that is uh, that's one thing that could be said about it. But this shows us the overall trend that we are going to begin that transition here in the next hour or two back to freezing rain, maybe some sleet. Let's hope sleet. I'd rather have sleet than freezing rain at this point. And our future cast really, let me see if I can pick. No, this is the latest one from last hour. But what it's showing is that it's going to stay freezing rain here for a bit this afternoon. So we've got that transition now between now and noon, kind of overspreading the county. So back to a freezing rain. So with the rain that's falling now will still look like rain, but it's going to begin freezing onto those surfaces once again. And then we're going to have several hours. It's still showing freezing rain at 1 o'clock, at 2 o'clock, maybe a bit lighter, but that is all going to accumulate on trees and power lines. Showing the same thing at 4 o'clock this afternoon, by 5 and 6 o'clock, hopefully pushing on out. But this does not show any additional snow. The National Weather Service official forecast is showing that we could have less than an inch of snow. And depending on where you are in the county, from northwest being Smyrna Laverne to the southeast, anywhere from a quarter of an inch to an additional 3/4 of an inch of ice. Now, just to give you a perspective, 3/4 of an inch of ice is a devastating ice storm in itself, and that's on top of what we've already had. So we've got to watch that. See from the National Weather Service chat, Rutherford County EMA reports that AT&T customers in the county are unable to contact 911. This report made by Rutherford County amateur radio operators. So that report is just in to us here. Power outage concerns, we have a lot of them. 844 active outages for Middle Tennessee Electric. We'll show that here in just a second. Give me about 5 seconds here real quick. There's nothing like hearing yourself in delay, so I had to kind of shut the door. And that didn't work because the dogs opened the door. So, hey, here we go. But Middle Tennessee Electric power outages right now are continuing to climb. Trying to get this to a point where I can display everything correctly for those who are checking us out. So power outages scattered all around Rutherford County. If there are areas that don't have scattered power outages, Eagleville up to about Armstrong Valley Road. So Eagleville is in pretty decent shape, very far southern end of the county as you go into Beech Grove. So Big Springs Road out there. Bradyville and Reedyville and Milton looking like they're okay. There's a portion of West Jefferson Pike all the way down to, let's say, Osborne Lane. But everywhere else, power outages in Rutherford County, and some significant power outages. So 10 outages downtown affecting 23 customers. I mean, these all add up. And by the way, the 16,671 that I mentioned to you, that includes the entire service area of Middle Tennessee Electric. And there are many more problems in Williamson County. I mean, we're talking about some outages are over 1,000. 1,200 customers in one outage. So they have significant problems there. So the significant number of outages that we have in Rutherford County are, if you're without power, that's not a good thing, right? Obviously. But we do know that over in Williamson County, those seem to be on the higher side. Let me pull up another source here and see if I can get down to what's happening here in Rutherford County. And it's showing about 697 outages in Rutherford County. And here we're getting a little garbled there on the radio feed, but we will continue along. Let me tell you that we're going to try to continue to do updates through the afternoon on radio, and the Rutherford Weather Channel is on YouTube, Facebook, X, so you can check things out there, okay? Over 900,000. Well, I can give you this. There are almost 295,000 customers in Tennessee without power, and that adds into about 900K across the country. So that's one thing that we have going on. Apparently, all of Lewis County is without power. 97% of Hickman County without power. So this is definitely widespread, as we thought. Road closures. There are some road closures here, and this is from Rutherford County Emergency Management Agency's dashboard here. So I'm going to try to run down some of the road closures, although being on the road is probably not the greatest idea anyway. But Whitehaven Drive, Broad at Medical Center, Stones River Road at in Laverne, Constitution Avenue at Liberty Lane, Lake Road at Ben Hill Boulevard, Lake Road at Williamson County Line. A lot of these are in the north end of the county. Well, let's see, Old Nashville Highway at George Cheney Road in Murfreesboro, 1231 Veterans Parkway, and Blair Road from Waldron Road to Vineyard. So those are the current road closures that we have in Rutherford County, but the roads are just awful. They are not good. Radar says we're at 32 degrees in Murfreesboro and in Smyrna, and we've got a mix in the Laverne Smyrna area. If you know what's going on in that area, if you live in that area and can safely tell us what you're seeing. But now we're seeing that freezing rain in Laverne and Smyrna, and coming into Florence, Walter Hill very soon, approaching Blackman, approaching Eagleville. So from the west to the east, this in the next hour, at least hour and a half, will transition us from plain rain as the colder air begins to funnel in. And I did want to look at one additional thing here from the National Weather Service. They're really going to be harping on, you can see it if you're watching on Rutherford Weather, the cold weather advisory. Tonight's low temperature is 9 degrees. Feels like of -2. So a low of 9 between now and overnight tonight. So all of this rain that is collecting, it can't really run off anywhere, right? Because it's on frozen ground and things like that. Well, that's going to immediately freeze here coming up in the next few hours. And also, we're going to continue to get some ice accretion on trees and power lines. Michael says roads are slush and ice. In Laverne, a mix of sleet and rain. Glad to see the sleet part. Brandy says Christiana has freezing rain. and 32.5 degrees in Christiana. So just did a little reset here for radio. I know the audio from our remote studios kind of going in and out. Blackman looks like got a report from Brittany, says that we're seeing some freezing there. So I think this is our transition back from rain to freezing rain and sleet. Hopefully more sleet than freezing rain, but I wouldn't hold my I wouldn't hold out my hopes for that. It doesn't look like that's what it's going to be. It'd be nice to get some snow, right? Who would have said that? Just anything not to continue to accumulate on trees and power lines. But again, our temperatures falling through the day. We're going to fall to around 22 by 5 o'clock. And the rain or freezing rain could be heavy at times this afternoon. So our official National Weather Service forecast has an additional, this is for Murfreesboro, 1/10 to 3/10 of an inch of ice. Additional accumulations. And again, then down to 9 tonight. Not going to warm up but till 20 tomorrow, around 0 tomorrow night, 34 on Tuesday, 10 degrees Tuesday night. Then we're not above freezing. Wednesday it's 30, 28 Thursday, Friday 30, 28 on Saturday. And low temperatures will be down around the single digits, it looks like. So not much warming. In fact, the only day that will be above freezing is Tuesday, and that's 2 degrees above freezing. And that's only for a short time that afternoon. Electricity out in the Walter Hill area. Thanks for that, Teresa. Hope you all stay warm and safe. Hopefully everybody can hold on to what power they have. That's going to be the critical thing here this afternoon. Up to 701 power outages in Rutherford County at this time. Middle Tennessee Electric was giving us updates. Let me pull that back up here. Their website was having some issues earlier. I think they've gotten those taken care of. The last update we had was from 10 a.m., so we don't have the 11 a.m. update, but we'll pass that along as quickly as we can. 14,000 members was what they last reported to us. That is up to 17,000 right now. So they battled back and got about 1,000 folks back online, and then we started to go the other way, and that's as this stuff began to freeze a bit more. Brandy says, ready for the 70s again. I concur. And it looks like .32 degrees is what's being reported at the airport right now. Let me see. Yeah, cold weather advisory is going to stay in place until Tuesday. So we'll continue to give reports here on radio. The plan will be to pop in at the top of the hour, but we'll have updates whenever we need to outside of that. But just if you're trying to plan your day and want to continue to get information and radio is your source, well, then we're going to give updates at the top of the hour. And we will continue as well on the Rutherford Weather Channel, where you can see the radar. You can we'll pop in and throw information out there. So if you want to try to find that, just look on Facebook or YouTube or X. Search for RUCO Weather, RUCO Weather, or go to RutherfordWX.com, and we have links to those socials right there. But we're going to break away from our radio coverage. And again, we'll continue to do these updates on radio for you so you can be informed. And we'll be passing along all the information that we can find so you will kind of know what's going on and we can all get through the ice storm of 2026 together. That's going to do it for this update. Bryan Barrett here from WGNS Rutherford Weather. Stay with us. More to come.
Urgent. Extreme cold warning issued January 25th at 11:15 a.m. Central Standard Time until January 27th at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time by NWS Nashville, Tennessee. Asterisk what? For the cold weather advisory, very cold wind chills between 0 to 5 below zero expected. For the extreme cold warning, dangerously cold wind chills as low as 10 below zero expected. Asterisk where? Most of Middle Tennessee.
So this is from Alert Rutherford. That cold weather advisory looks like it has been updated to a extreme cold warning. Okay, just needed to make sure radio is back. So that is some new information that just came out. I thought I was getting that from the National Weather Service, and it has not hit the socials yet. And it hasn't hit their website. Long story short, it's going to be extremely cold. Extreme cold warning. Midnight tonight to 6 p.m. Monday. And it extends the time of the cold weather advisory. Midnight tonight to 6 p.m. Monday. A little confusing, but long story short, it's going to be really cold. Wind chills could be as low as 10 below. Report in Eagleville, freezing rain, ½ an inch in Eagleville. I just hit from the National Weather Service. All right, let me regroup and get a little more information, and we'll continue to pass it along here to you. This is the Rutherford Weather Channel.